Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we'll be reviewing two Prime characters here. That being Dreadwing from Legacy Evolution Leader Class and Legacy United Thundertron that is a Voyager. So yeah, the reason why I want to review these two together is to compare and contrast. Because both of these are characters from the Prime universe, where I have a review of the previous few ones. I'll link those in the comments and in the description. Also, I have a playlist of all my reviews organized by type, essentially. So if you want to check that out, I have that all linked on my channel. And well, before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun doodads. And let's continue. So Thundertron here, to start off with, never appeared on screen. Not at all. I think there were plans for him to appear in what was Beast Hunters, the last season of Prime, but they fell through because they didn't have enough budget. So, which is why we got the season we got with Beast Hunters. So yeah, it was gonna be interesting because Thundertron here is essentially a space pirate, part of the newly named Star Raiders, which are getting their own subline apparently in the future at Walmart. So that'll be cool. So yeah, and Dreadwing here is a repaint, slight remold of his previous of the previous Skyquake here. And let me get this guy out of frame so that way it's a lot easier to see the differences. So they are canonically brothers in Prime, so them having the same alt mode makes sense, and also it's probably just cheaper for them to reuse a character model that they had access to than designing an entirely original one. The only real differences, from what I noticed, is well, I'll point it out once we get the transformation, but the only difference is the guns that they have, Skyquake being the minigun and Dreadwing being a cannon of sorts. Besides that, they are literally just recolors, with the orange replaced with red, the green, blue, the red with some gold and gunmetal. So yeah. And honestly, I do like this one a lot more than him, mostly because of, for one, his QC issues, and also I like the colors on this a lot more, especially with that blood clear red. It's just satisfying. I don't know why. It's just a satisfying color combo. So yeah. Let's look at Thundertron's alt mode, which is a lion, and honestly, whilst I may not know much about Zoids, he looks like he would come from Zoids. And I think that was something that some of the designers mentioned, that he was kind of inspired by that design to translate it to the alt mode here. And, well, actually, I'm going to save it for once we get to robot mode. But, yeah. So, for articulation is lion mode. His jaw does open, but it is very tight on my copy that I just need to be able to use the sword to just pry it out, which is annoying because for one, the front teeth are painted in silver, and also some nice mechanical detail in there. So yeah, the front legs don't really do anything. They just go forward and then the paw can close like that. But if you do untab them from here, you do get some extra movement, full outwards and forwards and back. I feel like this was intentional, but then they scrapped it mid-design, I guess. And then the legs back here are just pretty much the robot mode legs. It's just that they're like compressed here, and this is on a ball joint, and he has like a tail, which is just one solid piece. And the sword just stores back here on the tab. Not that elegant, but it works. So yeah, let's see. First things first for transformation. Actually, one feature that I almost forgot about with Dreadwing here is that he carries over the same gimmick that he had with Skyquake that you can do with Needlenose, where you can use these tabs here on the chest and then put them on right here, replicating a G2 combination that is possible, and they're probably going to repaint both of these in the future. It's just the question of when, because I don't know, Generation Selects has been pretty slow besides the new like 5-pack that came out. Like besides that, there hasn't really been that much for Generation Selects, which kind of sucks. But yeah, you can do the same gimmick and all that. So yeah. Let's start out. Actually, let's do the transformation of Thundertron first, and then we can get to Dreadwing, because during his transformation, I want to show you like there's some differences between the two molds that I noticed when messing with him. Like, well, between this and his like previous like repaint. So yeah. So to start off with, remove the sword. Just remove this, put it off to the side. And then to start off with, untab the legs here, bring up these covers, rotate them like this, fold in the paw, fold that in, cover that up, do the same thing on the other side. And there we have the shoulder pads all done. Now for the now for the legs, you just bring them down, straighten them out. Oh, thing I constantly forget to do for beast mode is where you're supposed to have these like feet bits pointed backwards. It's a small step, it's not really all that noticeable, but this is what you're supposed to do, apparently. But yeah, just fold these forward, fold them down, and then make sure they clip into place. And then rotate this part forward so it's covering the blue hip piece. And then rotate this around. And there we have the legs all done. Just like that. Untab this back piece here just to get it out of the way. And then for the arms, bring that up, bring that out, bring out the arms, rotate them down, rotate them like this, and then untab the head from this tab here, and then untab this from this slot. And bring it down, make sure it goes flush on the back. And then for this, you flatten out the mane, and then when bringing this down, you make sure you bring it down like this. And then it'll just tab into place, just like that. And here we have Thundertron in his robot mode. And it's very much a pirate-esque bot, or at least, well, I mean, you don't really get that much of a pirate vibe from him just looking like this, but he's very much wearing his alt mode, especially with, like, the head in the chest, which is just classic beast former. And pretty much, like, the only new thing that gets revealed is his head and the arms. But if you do want to make him more pirate-like, you can rip off his foot and then, boom, peg leg. Which is a gimmick his original toy had, because he was a toy-only character who, well, I don't know if it was accurate to the book he was introduced in, but like he's arguably the most accurate in terms of like prime characters. Like it's weird that this random toy only character whose only like thing we know about him is like in a book that is like I don't no idea if it's good or not because I've never read it, but like it's weird that he gets this like special treatment when characters like uh Dreadwing, like ARCEE, Bulkhead, Knockout, and like those get the half G1, half Prime inspiration, where the further along you go, you get more Prime than G1. But yeah, let's get on to the transformation of Dreadwing here, and we'll get that started. Okay, to start off with, you just take off the cannon down here, set it off to the side, fold up the landing gear. I forgot to mention he has landing gear. You just fold them up, just 3 right there. Start off with, we take these out of the way, which will become the shoulder pads. And next we fold up the arms here, which they're still squeaky, like even on this mold, but they're not prone to essentially self-destruction, at least from what I've noticed so far. So yeah, fold out the hands. Make sure you, when you fold out these hands, this tab here goes into this slot, which didn't go in the first time. There we go. So just like that, untab them from each other, and then we can work on the legs. Bring them around, just like that. Fold them forward like that. Bring out the entire leg, and then, assuming you didn't do it by itself, untab this, fold it up, and make sure this slot goes over this tab. Then fold out the feet, and then do the same thing on the opposite side. So there we have the bottom legs all done. And now we just turn it sideways like this, and then we disconnect everything here, open up this panel here, fold it all the way around, get these out of the way, and then we can rotate this down, push that down, and then for the nose cone up here, we just fold it in like that, untab it from the head, bringing the shoulder panels up, and collapsing this inward. And now this is where the difference is between Dreadwing and Skyquake in terms of like minor mold differences like happen, is where right here is where this armature is supposed to like tab in. There is a tab on this part here, and like a tab slot, like double layering here. On Skyquake, this doesn't really exist. Like here is just the slot and just the tab. Like as you can see here, it's just like a slot with like no tab underneath it. And if I get this out of the way, so you can see, so yeah, it's just the same, like here it's just a tab with like the empty space for like the plastic to not be. So that is something that they fixed on this copy over Skyquake, because originally the cockpit just wouldn't sit right, and well, even then this one doesn't avoid that one completely, but well, let me finish the transformation to show you. So yeah, and fold these down, fold them like that, And then this isn't shown in the instructions. The instructions probably just tell you to leave the cockpit piece there. But honestly, the best way to have this backpack compress as much as it can is to feed it through the hole right here. Have it together. And then, well, before you tab it together, make sure it goes over the holes on the sides of what were like the fuselage. So that way it can all sit flush together. There we go. Like, it's supposed to be sitting like that, but actually it's staying like that. That's the first time it's done that in a hot minute. So yeah. So it's meant to prevent like the arms from essentially sinking back into the chest, which is what happened a lot on Skyquake. Like, it did give him like butterfly joints, but it was annoying. Also, make sure you extend the arms on the hinge. And just like that, we have Skyquake in his robot mode. And honestly, like, really good like adaptation of the character, blending more of the Prime elements than the G1, if that makes any sense. Like he just does it better than what like Prime, ARCEE, and Bulkhead were trying to do, and especially Knockout, because oof. Like, Knockout was just a remold of the Jazz figure, which it's not a bad figure, but not a particularly like. Actually, I have a review of Knockout. I'll link that in the description as well, so that way it'll make sense. I can explain my thoughts there a lot better because I already had them. So yeah. So let me just get some stuff ready for a comparison. So I'll be back in 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. So for comparison, let me bring in all of the Prime Universe figures that we have. So here we have Bulkhead, Knockout, and ARCEE. And here he is next to his brother, Skyquake. And here is Thundertron. So, like, these are all the Prime figures that we have officially. I do not know if we're getting any more. Let me know in the comments, because I could have just forgotten the listing that existed somewhere. So yeah. But oh wait, I forgot about Breakdown from the exclusive packs. Sorry, I thought I heard something. So yeah. Besides Breakdown, who is a repaint, slight remold of Bulkhead here, these are all the Prime like universe figures that we have, and it's quite the mixed collection, honestly. Bulkhead, I think, is pretty good, but then again, he just acts as a general Bulkhead, doesn't really represent Prime Bulkhead all that well. Knockout here is just fine. Like, he's not bad. He's accurate to like the Wreckers comic that existed in like IDW 2.0 for a little bit. ARCEE, like, she's fine. She's honestly doesn't wear the mold the best, honestly. Like, it's either Flame War or Road Rocket that wears it better. Skyquake and Dreadwing back here are honestly really good leader class molds, especially like for big jet characters. It's just that it's my questioning of when are they going to repaint them into their like G2 counterparts. And Thundertron here is like really good, but he stands out amongst all of these. Like, he is arguably the most accurate character who never appeared in the show. It's very weird that, like, Thundertron here would get most of the attention instead of all these guys. Then again, these three up here were designed and then like they barely got to this mold back here before they heard fan like feedback and changed direction a bit instead of going like full basically G1 esque with like prime flavoring essentially. So yeah. So let me get all of these out of the way, and then we can talk. Oh, actually, one more comparison. Here he is. Here they are with Needle. Get that out of the way. Here they are. Here he is with Needlenose, which honestly, really good mold. If you can find him for cheap, get him. So yeah. What was I saying? Let's go over our Dreadwing's articulation here. So for articulation, he has a ball joint at the head, full 360, and can look up, which is amazing for flying characters because not even like Cybertron Starscream can look up, and he's a flying character. Why? Like, it's a good toy, but why? So yeah. Also, the head's on a slider for some reason. Like, you can slide it forward and back. Like, if you just want to forward a bit more or sunken back. Like, I think the back position is meant for transformation and you're meant to pull it forward for robot mode. But it's your toy. Do whatever you want. There we go. For the shoulders, the shoulder pad is on like a double hinge and rotation and a ball joint, so it can get out of your way if you need it. And for this, you can do a full, semi-full 360 and just bumps into the shoulder pad and the wing back here. And if you have it covering, you can only really get like that much. If you just like don't move it out of the way, it just moves itself out of the way. So it does have a butterfly joint. It doesn't go inward as much as like Skyquake's did, because on Skyquake the thing just wouldn't sit right and it would just sink back into the chest, which is annoying. So I'm glad they fixed that. Kind of. So yeah, it's meant to just like stop right there. So shoulders are on a ratchet. They can go all the way up that far. And he does have a bicep swivel, double jointed bend at the elbow, but it's more so going to look like over 90 degrees, more so than anything else than the full 180. He does have a wrist swivel, and he does have a waist rotation. Really nice. And if you untab the cockpit from right here, you can get an ab crunch. Just a bit annoying getting it back in. So, and then the legs can go forward about that far and can go back about that far. There's a thigh swivel. Can't do a full 360 because of the armor here, but it works. Full splits. Like you can get a full like double knee bend, and the ankles are a bit, yeah, like they work. It's just that they spring back for some reason. I don't know why. It's probably because of the molding. So yeah. So that was his articulation, and for his accessories, you get pretty much the same weapon, except for like the tip here, and from Skyquake. So you can do all the same things with it. You can hold it like the regular cannon that it was, like using the butterfly joint essentially to help with that. Come on, work with me here. There we go. So yeah, you can hold it like this. Come on, work with me here. There we go. Slightly better. Also, the tip here is blast effect compatible. Boom. And so are the thrusters in his feet here. I forgot to mention that in jet mode. So yeah. But if you don't want the cannon, you can use the sword, which is stored right back here, is kind of like the ammo clip. And it's the same sword. So it's keyed for specifically like this hand. And no one else can use it besides characters with like opening hands, or at least with like opened hands. So I mean, it keeps it from like rotating around a lot, but it's baffling to me. Like I don't understand. So yeah, those are all of his accessories. Oh, also I forgot to mention the wings back here, hinge and hinge. So if you want to position those in any way that you want, then have at it. Also, he has a cool like elite Decepticon symbol on his chest. I forgot to mention that in gold. Looks really nice. Like, this figure in general just looks really nice. Like, honestly, if I had to keep one, I'd keep this guy mostly because of the color scheme, because, I don't know, I kind of grew out of Skyquakes, because it's just olive green. So yeah. Get this out of the way, and then we can focus on Thundertron's articulation. So yeah. There we go. So yeah, for his articulation, he has a ball joint at the head. Can look side to side until it like bumps into the collar pieces here. And the shoulder pads, they have the same articulation that I mentioned in Beast Mode. It's just that they don't really have that much forward and backwards if you need that for any reason. And like they can raise up, so you can get like a full like T-pose. Arms can go forward that far until they bump into the shoulders, back until they bump into the shoulders. Bicep swivel like that. Over 90 degrees of bend at the elbow, and a wrist rotation, which is pretty much just keyed to go that way. Like, you can have it go the other way, it's just that then is blocked by the claws here, which makes me wonder why even have wrist rotation if you're going to have something to like it's actively clicking against it, which is very bizarre to me. Like, I do not understand. So yeah, he does have waist rotation. Just that you need to move stuff out of the way for it to be usable. Like, it's pretty much just that. And even then, like, you have to move this like back skirt out of the way. And on some copies, I think you can just remove it, just like this, just to get it out of the way. Like, I really wish that there was a better way to deal with this bit here, because with that, you can just have, like, better articulation, because it only really bumps against the side skirts here, which are on ball joints, and also have a 5mm peg here, which would make you think that and also this is, like, a hole here, but then again, that's just a hole for, like, the ball socket, like, that you could tab the sword in back here. I mean, you could, but you can't. Like, the official robot mode storage is right back here on this piece again, just like it did in Lion mode, which kind of sucks. So yeah, just let me get these out of the way. Legs can go forward that far and can go back. If you don't have this piece and like on, it can go back that far, but I'm pretty sure, well, you get less. There is a thigh swivel, and well, technically two if you want to use this one for some reason. Over 90 degrees of bend at the knee. This ankle here has a good bit of pivot, and you can bend it forward and backwards. It's really nice. But this one here, due to this one being the peg leg, you only have the like up and down here, and it's at a permanent angle, because like you're not going to have your figure standing up straight like this. It'll just be awkward. So they molded it like this, so that way he's like in an A stance. I think that's what it is. So that way he doesn't look off balance. And even then, when you take this off, it looks more piratey. And what you can do with this piece here is attach it to the front of the sword, making it more of a traditional cutlass kind of look, which is something you could do on the original toy. So yeah. It's very weird to me that a toy-only Prime character gets the most accurate design. It's very bizarre. Also, on the shoulders here, there's a 5mm port on this side, but 2 tabs on this side. We are getting a leader class Thundertron in the Star Raiders line, and that makes me wonder, is it going to be this mold with extra stuff? Or is it going to be remolded, or a completely new mold, which I doubt it. It'd be cool, though, to see this guy come with some extra stuff. Maybe the Requiem Blaster with, like, the Minicon team, or maybe, like, a parrot up here that can tab into the shoulders. Like, there's, like, you can't have a pirate without, like, a parrot. Like, it's just too iconic. So, yeah. Honestly, really good toy. If you can find him for a good price, or maybe even less than retail, then honestly, I say go for it. But even then, I would probably wait until we see what the Star Raiders version of this guy is. So, I'm probably going to keep this guy until the Star Raiders version comes out. So, that way I could just have, like, this mold still, but with extra stuff. And that extra stuff might be cool, but hey, it is what it is. And if it does suck, then I still can have this and just skip the other version. So, yeah. So, that has been my review of Thundertron and of Dreadwing. Let me get this guy stable because having a pegged leg is a bit off kilter. So, yeah. So, stand, both of you, please. So, there we go. So, that has been my review for these two. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and as I said before, like, comment, subscribe. I have a bunch of other videos on my channel, and also a Patreon if you want to keep the lights running around this place. So, that has been me, signing off. I'll have a bunch of stuff linked in the comments. Have a good day. Adios.